Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live. I am Priscilla. I do the marketing and communications at Venture, and today I am here live with three winners from our finance and insurance vertical. This is part one of our 5-week series leading up to our award ceremony on September 13th. And we will be interviewing all of our winners so that you can get to know a little bit more about what they do and what they're trying to accomplish. So without further ado, I would like to invite Stefan from aisot to tell us a little bit about himself and what he's doing at aisot.
Thanks a lot for introducing me. My name is Stefan Klauser. I'm founder and CEO at...
Sorry.
Yeah? Can you still hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, cool. aisot produces next generation real-time insights for traders and asset managers, and we want to help them take better decisions. So there's a growing class of people around the world that can save some money, and interest rates are at historic lows. Trading costs are decreasing rapidly. So a good idea is to actually invest that money, right? But how? Most people have to rely on certified investment managers. That can be a fund or an asset or a wealth manager. Usually they face a huge complexity in financial markets these days. So there's a number of factors that influence asset prices in real time. Things like order book information, news flows, but increasingly also social media feeds that have an immediate effect on asset prices. And numbers show that most investment advisors are actually really overwhelmed with this information and the number of different flows of information that they have to track. And this is where aisot comes into play. aisot provides next generation real-time insights for traders and asset managers and helps them take better decisions. We have a team that has the skills to work with a diverse set of data sources with mixed characteristics and extract real-time insight from that. We deliver them to the clients in the form of trading and investment signals or directly optimized portfolios. Let me make two examples. For example, a broker that wants to know how the price of a Bitcoin moves over the next 60 seconds, or also the asset managers that wants to use latest AI for monthly optimization of a portfolio to have better results. So also from a time perspective, we can work with very short-term forecasts and longer time periods as well. We provide subscription-based services with the revenue and fee sharing options that should give us stable revenues and a high upside in terms of earnings. We have some first POCs and early clients in Switzerland and the US, and we want to move beyond 1 million of ARR in the next 12 months. We are an ETH Zurich spin-off with a founding team with backgrounds in machine learning, quant finance, and entrepreneurship. At the moment, we have 6 employees and a growing number of advisors and associates that work with us, centered around Zurich, Switzerland, where our headquarters is. We're currently raising a seed round of $2 million, and we plan to close that in 1 to 2 months. Our mission is to help traders and investors take better decisions so that we can have a positive impact on global wealth. My name is Stefan Klauser. I'm co-founder and CEO of aisot Technologies. I'm looking forward to the discussions.
Great. Thank you so much, Stefan. So you basically help develop signals for the market, if I understand correctly, and forecasting the market and trying to make predictions. It's not something new. A lot of people try to do that. Can you expand a little bit on what makes you different?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to forecast markets, right? So it's not something that can just be easily done, and it's really important to be at the forefront of the developments on the technological side. So we have a team that is coming from ETH and some with support from New York University. And our members of the team are really driving the research around machine learning and quant finance, and as well as we have the infrastructure skills. We're a fully cloud native company to provide this service in the best possible way. And on other terms, what is really important to see is that our insights are usually time specific and for a specific use case. So competitors, let's name maybe somebody, Ravenpack, Yuka Labs, or others that are delivering a great service around sentiments. They deliver a sentiment that is the same for more or less all the clients, right? With us, we work directly with the client and see what is their use case and what's the time horizon they're looking for, and we provide them a specific signal that is just for them and for their use case. Naturally, we try to use that again, but usually we have a very, let's say, customized components to our signals.
Yeah, it's much more tailor-made. I forgot to mention to those of you tuning in, you are welcome to type in your questions to us here on LinkedIn. You can just type them in and we'll be sure to get to your questions. Since it's tailor-made, Stefan, how do you price your services?
Yeah, that depends on the product itself. We at the moment have 3 different product lines. One is where we deliver trading and investing signals, which are a bit more short term. There we usually work with the subscription fee and the revenue sharing component. And then we have the products that we set up together with partners. So usually ETPs and AMCs, these are investable products. And there we would go with the fee sharing of the assets under management. And the same is true when we work directly on an optimized portfolio. So if you work with an asset manager and we give them insights around how to optimize a portfolio, that can be from daily to quarterly, we would usually also get a fee based on the assets under management of the asset manager.
Okay, thank you for that. I do have another question on my end, just looking at my notes. Are you developing signals that are selling at a high frequency, and how long are your signals valid for?
Yeah, usually we produce them at the high frequency. So to give you an example, for the 60 seconds directional Bitcoin forecasts that we're having, they're usually from every 15 seconds down to even event-based. So whenever there is enough events in the database coming from the order books or from alternative insights, the new signals would be triggered. When we have like longer forecasts, let's say up to quarterly forecasts, this would usually be produced a bit less often. So anything from hourly to even bi-monthly signals that we would deliver.
Okay, and then I see that we have one question from the audience. It says, how do you approach possible customers or potential customers?
Yeah, we do that through different channels. So mainly we currently work with our network of advisors and people that we know. So it's about warm introductions to potential clients. And then we approach clients through events. So we participate in international events around the topic where we have done talks and our own booth sometimes, either virtual or in person, and then we also kind of just try to reach out to people through our website and social media. So we actually even got some first clients that came in through social media, and so also some inflow there.
That's great. So thank you very, very much, Stefan. I would like to invite Habib and Manuel also to see if they also may have some questions for you before we move on to the next person. you guys have any questions or all clear? Clear. Okay. So thank you very much, Stefan. I would like to then proceed with Manuel from Ignatica. If you can take a couple minutes to introduce yourself and what you're doing at Ignatica. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Priscilla. So again, my name is Manuel San Miguel. I am the CEO and co-founder of Ignatica. And at Ignatica, we're tackling a problem within the insurance industry. The insurance industry is evolving, and everybody knows this. It's evolving in terms of new sources of data, new sources of risks, insights, and especially in ways of interacting with consumers. Now, the challenge is that most insurance companies are stuck running on legacy technology that is frankly older than I am. And this is preventing them from quickly addressing the opportunities and needs in the market, from quickly being able to shift into new business models like embedding their products and services in digital ecosystems, and really servicing consumers the way that they expect. Ignatica is here to solve for that. So we start with the core of insurance, how products are built, configured, launched to market, take care of all of the policy administration, the heavy lifting around the billing, collections, the accounting, regulatory and financial reporting, etc., and then provide all of that through our data service into a platform that can provide real-time insights into the business and allow insurers to dynamically update their products, change parameters, and really reach new markets. We're really here to provide the tools that insurers need to make sure that everyone can protect the things that matter to them most.
Great, thank you. That was a very nice, clear, simple explanation of what you do. But it sounds like you're doing something pretty big. So you mentioned that you are starting with the core services of an insurance. This is a traditional, very conservative kind of industry. How do you approach these big companies kind of with a reputation of resisting change and kind of going with what's tried and true, and you come up there with a new approach as a startup? How do you even begin to tackle this challenge?
It's not easy, obviously. One of the advantages that we do have from a team perspective is that the majority of our team, certainly myself included, come from the other side of the table. So I myself was the chief technology officer from a major multinational insurer. We understand the reality of working within those organizations, the challenges that those teams face with their current technology, the challenges that the business has in having to navigate the risk aversion that most insurers naturally have with the pressing need to be able to access new markets, access new pools, and service clients differently. The way that we have built our technology is obviously cloud native, self-contained, very easy to integrate, so it can operate side by side with their existing platforms with no disruption to the current business flows. This means that we really lower the barrier and the hurdles that insurers have in taking part of our service and in basically in us in onboarding clients. And we have structured our architecture, our security, our design to really make sure that we hit the key friction points that insurers traditionally come up against when trying to onboard new technology into their stack. Obviously, we have also a lot of support from our partners. So we've worked very closely with major global advisory firms, the Big Four, et cetera, who have kicked the tires on our technology, understand that the insurance companies who are their clients have this need, and they recognize that the way we're approaching the problem is very unique in the market. Having them take us into the insurance companies obviously helps us because you now have an additional level of credibility. You have a different amount of scale because they're there to support implementation and so forth. So that has helped us get some traction with the right set of stakeholders in the major enterprises.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'd like to just inform you that you are welcome to ask your questions in the chat if you have any questions for Manuel. Another question from my side is when you get into new technology, you get into especially cloud-based, you get into new risk areas. How do you mitigate the risk on data protection and privacy?
So this is actually one of our biggest concerns. At the end of the day, the insurance business is in the business of selling trust. So we've basically built security, data management, the abstraction of different data domains, things like transactional information around the insurance contracts versus personal client information around people who have a role in such a contract, like the policy owner, the insured, the beneficiary, things like that. So we've separated all of that. We've built security, encryption, geographic hosting of data through different territories. So we've built that into architecture design. So our clients have full control of where their data sits, where it is processed, how it is encrypted. So they actually can control their own encryption keys. Even though we are cloud native, it is not an arm's length SaaS platform. It's almost a dedicated private cloud implementation client by client. So we were able to segregate both the business logic and all of the data elements physically and logically client by client and give them as much control over their own data and processing as they would have within their own environment. And that's obviously a key factor for our success in entering multiple geographic markets when regulation is sometimes overlapping and often conflicting.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this tailor-made approach, this is not a turnkey service or platform that you're delivering. How long does it take once the insurance business or company has decided, okay, I want to move forward with you? How long does the adoption of your platform take?
We've been very lucky in how we've architected our solution to really shorten onboarding times. Because of our design, instead of having to align very long, complex business processes in a one-size-fit-all manner, we're able to define all of those rules at a product-by-product basis. So onboarding is really about connecting the plumbing and connecting the different integration points through our API layer to the different systems within the insurance company. That is often dictated by the availability of resources on the client side, but it can be anywhere between 4 to 10 weeks by the time we do end-to-end configuration, onboarding, testing, etc. So some clients that consume our services, especially around our product cloud and our product configurator as headless APIs, can literally do it in a matter of days. Other clients that want our full admin core platform integrated with their finance systems, their CRMs, in some cases, some other existing legacy platforms, that can take a little bit longer. And it's, again, usually between 8 to 10 weeks to go from nice to meet you, hello, handshake to delivery into production.
Okay, that's not a bad turnaround time at all for something that's so complex. Yeah. And we have
a caveat for that is, of course, this is assuming that we're launching new products. There are some clients that choose to migrate their existing book of business from their old legacy mainframes and move them onto Ignatica. That is, of course, a different animal altogether when it comes to time to execution.
Yeah. So one last question, and this one comes from our audience, is how did you put together your team? What are the backgrounds of your team members?
Sure. We've been actually very lucky in how we put our team together. Most of our team comes from major banks and multinational insurance companies on the one side, and some fintech startups and other technology companies on the other. So we have folks from, again, places like, as you'd expect, Oracle, DXC, the major global players in this space, major insurance companies, major banks like HSBC, JP Morgan, etc. Most of our team are actually mid to late stage career, actually. So they've spent years working this problem within the organizations and now are seeing as our approach as an opportunity to have major impact. And now they've jumped ship and joined us here in our story. And now we're bringing in also a lot of newer developers who are almost fresh grads coming in with newer ideas, newer design patterns, and just helping us drive. So it creates a really interesting culture within the team. It's pretty awesome.
I bet you have a very nice mix. Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Manuel. And it's great to hear what you're doing. And I would like, instead of inviting the other startups to ask you questions, I'd just like to go for time-wise, keeping matters. We'll just go directly with Habib, if that's okay. Thank you so much, Manuel. So welcome, Habib, from Lyyna. Thank you very much for being here today. I would like to invite you as well to go ahead and introduce yourself and what you're doing at Lyyna.
Thank you. My name is Habib. I am the founder and the CEO of Lyyna, a startup which helps banks to unlock the value from payment data. Maybe what I mean by that, I try to explain it along my personal story. So in 2019, I purchased a notebook from a specialized store. And when I came back home, my wife asked me if I did buy an insurance for it. And then I realized, no, the seller didn't offer me any. And it just happened that a few minutes later, I was looking at my banking app. And then I saw that particular payment transaction and asked myself, wouldn't it be great if the bank would offer me now a button where I can insure my laptop directly there. So basically, Lyyna is enabling banks to do this. And this is a customer need because we see this embedded finance, this embedded insurance in the retailer, but there is many cases, especially at small retailers or at cross-border purchases, where the customer is not offered this service. And we offer the bank the complete capability to offer this service. So we offer a platform which on one side analyze the payment data to detect where it makes sense to offer insurance and which insurance makes sense. We have a cloud-based insurance platform where we can configure a new insurance product in a matter of days. Plus, we also source, let's say, the insurance contracts from existing insurance so that a bank can have access to an ecosystem with existing insurance products. So this is what we are doing, and welcome any questions from your side.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Habib. So if I understand correctly, you are basically ensuring or providing the opportunity for consumer to obtain insurance on almost any item that they can purchase from a small retailer.
Yes, items and services. It could be also like, for example, when you book a hotel, that you have like kind of cancellation insurance. And we are doing this through the banks. Basically, we are B2B2C model. So the idea is basically, you need to imagine when you are a bank customer, you pay with your credit card. Your bank will offer you this kind of insurance directly from on their smartphone, on the banking app.
Okay, so that means that it's a bit more sharing on my end from as a consumer with my bank. So they already know where I'm purchasing, but then they will also know exactly what I'm purchasing as well, so they can offer an insurance for the item or service.
Yes.
Okay. And how do consumers usually react to this? Are they usually happy, or is this you feel a bit of resistance there?
So, but we are frank, we are still pre-revenue. We have like dry run POCs. We have done some direct ones. So the action is quite different. I mean, the consumer needs at the first step to, let's say, to sign in for this service from his bank. And then the resistance is less, let's say, as soon as, let's say, we are offering the right insurance products, people are happy to be serviced, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So now then we see a merge of two industries, the banking and insurance. How receptive are the banks to this idea?
I think the moment is very good. The main complexity, I mean, banks are, let's say, they need some time to discuss the project, to go live. So what we are seeing is quite a long lead times. But the idea comes very, very well across in Switzerland and also in other European countries.
What about privacy? Same kind of question that I asked before. You mentioned that your consumers will actually sign up for this service. So there's that barrier or that hurdle that's already been mitigated. But what about the privacy? How are you handling it on your end?
So maybe two things. First of all, while let's say analyzing the purchase data, we are analyzing anonymized purchase data. So we cannot do like any profiling about what the customer is purchasing. For us, we are getting from the bank a kind of a purchase. Somebody purchased something at this merchant for this value. And then we are based on that, we are saying it doesn't make sense to offer insurance, yes or no. We are getting customer data only when the customer said, yes, I want to have an insurance contract.
Okay.
Basically, he also, again, there explicitly say, yes, I give my data.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have put in place, I mean, we are cloud native, but of course, we are working with banks for insurance products. So we have the whole system built from the ground up so that is we respect the, say, the different data security, so privacy by design. Plus, we have, let's say, a data life cycle. So when the data is not needed anymore, they will be deleted.
Okay. And then I have one question from the audience. Is your product, your service the first of its kind, or are there similar services already existing?
So from my side, I don't know from any company which has such service live. I spoke with banks in different European countries, from Germany, France, Spain, Poland, Latvia, but also in the US. I never get the response like, yes, we know this product, but all of them is like, oh, yeah, it makes sense, and we never saw this in the market.
Great. So you're presenting a nice new opportunity for them.
Yeah. So, but as I said, it doesn't mean that if I don't know that there is like nothing else in the market, but it's not like something established on the market.
Okay. Then my last question for you, and it'll be the same for all of the winners here today, is what would it mean for you to win the grand prize? Because you're already a winner. We just don't know exactly where you're going to be ranking. We'll find out at the award ceremony on September 13th. But what would it mean for you to win the grand prize of the venture competition? And perhaps what would you do with 150,000 Swiss francs that you could potentially win?
I mean, there is like what means like two things. There is on the emotional side, and let's say on the money side, right? Emotional side, I mean, building a company is it's a hard journey, and to get some recognition is always very, very meaningful. The second, the 150 will allow me to then to invest in Switzerland, so that we can have the first, let's say, project live, to help that Zurich becomes one the leading, let's say, fintech scene in Europe.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much, Habib. And then I'll just welcome up Manuel and Stefan as well. Manuel, same question. What would it mean for you to win the grand prize of venture?
It would be amazing. First of all, as Habib mentioned, you know, the recognition, the validation of the work the team has done to get us so far, and to be recognized from among such an amazing group of other startups that are part of the competition, just that in itself is amazing. Obviously, the money prize allows us to invest, especially in our business development, marketing, and client acquisition, anchored out of Switzerland and especially across broader Europe. So it's something that we are very excited about, that opportunity.
Great. Thank you very much, Manuel. And same question to you, Stefan.
Thank you, Priscilla. Yeah, we would be incredibly proud for sure if he could win that grand prize. That's probably one of the biggest recognitions we could get at this stage. And with the money, something similar, we would certainly grow the team. We're very dedicated to Zurich in Switzerland as a hub for our company. So we're planning to grow the team here, which comes at a certain price, as you can imagine. So we could use that money for sure. And then we would also probably invest a little bit into the fintech floor that we're currently building together with some other companies here in Zurich, so that Habib at Lyyna would also be able to profit a little bit from our
Yes, because prior to this live, I just found out that aisot and Lyyna will be sharing a co-working space in Zurich in a couple of weeks. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're starting to build a fintech floor at Holstrasse 186. That's a building that has been formerly used by a French construction company, and they're not using it anymore. So it'll probably be torn down in a couple of years. In the meantime, we're going to use that for our fintech floor, and we're also probably going to have some smaller events there in the future. So listen to our channels on social media, and we'll keep you up with the latest news.
Great. That's an amazing idea. So thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. Thank you very much to Stefan, Habib, and Manuel for joining us and telling us a little bit about what they do. Congratulations to you all, because you're winners of the venture competition for this year. And I wish you a lot of luck in the final pitch on September 13th. And I will be back next week on Thursday at 9 a.m. here on LinkedIn. And I will be interviewing our health and nutrition winners as well, so we can get to know them. So thank you guys very much. And I will see you on September 13th at the award ceremony. Take care. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Bye-bye.